you're very passionate about your fans understanding and learning about their true history. What would you want your European or white fans to know about their history?
Well, to understand that slavery is not reserved for just black and Latino people. Don't pity us, motherfucker. You niggas had slavery too. You white people had slavery. You called it feudalism. You gave it all these nice little names to cover it up and make it seem as if white people were so much more civilized towards each other than black and Latino people were, because we're savages and we pray to wood gods and shit, you know what I mean? And they look at our culture and be like, oh, you used to sacrifice people on a stone. I'm like, really? Well, you used to burn people at a stake in Jesus' name. You know, you hung people all the time. Now we got a war in Iraq. Being fought and being supported by a majority of people who call themselves Christians. And they do it because whether they know it or not, they believe in their mind that someone who doesn't share their religion or their race is somehow less of less of a human being, or their life is worth less. Their blood is worth less. That Israeli blood is worth more than Palestinian blood. You know what I mean? That American blood is worth more than Iraqi blood. That's the idea that people have. There's no humanity in what we're dealing with. And that's the crazy part of what we have right now. An advancement in technology in terms of the world, but a loss of humanity. And even though we have, and people are always going to say, oh, you're wrong. There's the Geneva Convention. There's all these laws. That's out the window, homie. We tickets talk about the New World Order. We living in that right now. And I'm not trying to, dance around the question or not, but I'm just saying that when I look at it like that, I tell people, realize that whether you white or black or whatever color, this is going to affect you. And people talk about races and all that, and I'm not trying to be on some space shit, but in the future, people really will have races. The entire human race is one race now, one human race. There's no subhuman genre of people. If there was, then I wouldn't be able to have sex with a white woman or an Asian woman or a black woman or a Middle Eastern woman and create a child. But because we can't, we the same people. And not a defective human being. It ain't like a mule and a horse, like a donkey and a horse that make an impotent mule. But what I'm saying is that's what has been ingrained in society. The idea that, if we mix the races, that all of a sudden they come out. That's why they call black and white people that had children mulatto. They call the children mulatto because there was the combination of the noble horse and the working donkey that was meant to work and die. The horse get treated better than people in Europe. And they made what? A mule. You notice in classical Hollywood cinema, the tragic mulatto, the black person that dies in the movie, the black and white girl, the light-skinned broad that always got to be fucked up in them old movies. But that's what they wanted to paint for our people. What we need to realize is that's non-existent. And the reason that race was created in the first place was so they could justify the demonization of certain people, and they could implement scientific racism to say, you know what? These people are somehow less, and that's how we'll conquer them. Because a human being, knowing he's doing something to another human being, causes more of a conflict in his mind. But in the future, we're not going to have that. That's what I'm telling niggas. In the future, there will be definitely different races of people. Because there's going to be a race of people that are genetically altered due to the fact that corporations own lung cancer genes, they own skin cancer genes, they own genes that have liver disease in them, whatever it is. They have all these, they've mapped out the gene code practically. So in the future, there's going to be a race of people that says, well, brother, I'm not like you. I don't get cancer. I don't get AIDS. I'm not susceptible to cold weather like you. I'm not susceptible to hot weather like you.
Superior race.
I can eat things that you can't eat. I can survive on things you can't survive on. And that's going to be the reality of it. And we're going to accept that. And that's another thing you're going to notice. Who's going to have access to that technology? It ain't damn sure ain't going to be the third world that's used like a battery in the Matrix to power America and Europe's standards of things. So where the fuck are we really going to be? And that's a question for all fans and all supporters, I would say, of the music and of the movement, because at the end of the day, you could be black, Latino, or white or Asian, cancer don't give a fuck about that. AIDS don't give a fuck about that, homie. And this government damn Joe don't give a fuck about that.